I've started to populate my background now with posters and images because
I've noticed, yeah.
Yeah, you've got New Pagans. They've got a live stream for their debut album this Friday. Tomorrow! Yesterday, when this podcast goes out.
Irrelevant for the people listening.
This is Sheer Isolation. It's presented by Kieran Moore in Trowbridge and John Ponting in Cricklade.
Hello, one and all. Thank you for tuning in. You are with us on Sheer Isolation. Myself, John Ponting here in Cricklade, and Kieran Moore is back home in Trowbridge. Hello, Kieran.
I am today. This was last week. Was in the work one night. This week I'm back at home. Starting to populate my background with posters and images of all the people that have been involved with us for the last nearly a year, John.
Nearly a year of not really doing much apart from the virtual stuff, obviously, but that's going to change soon.
Very soon, very soon.
And I can see you've changed the dates of your John Gom and your ultrasound as well.
Yes, I have. Yes. So updated posters, accurate dates now. So ultrasound is Monday, the 16th of August, 2021 in Moles in Bath. So if you're a fan of alt, indie, prog legends, ultrasounds, they'll be playing in Bath, which is great. And then in October, for his rescheduled autumn tour, we have the absolutely sensationally, magnificently technical John Gom, who's playing at Emmanuel's Yard in Trowbridge. He has to be seen to be believed. He racks up millions and millions and millions of views on YouTube because he's just a sensational guitarist. But to me, in my mind at least, he's one of the first musicians that came off YouTube to become famous off the back of what he did on YouTube. So quite a success story, that.
Oh, it's so nice that you're talking about gigs that are actually going to happen in the not too distant future. We're talking later in the year, but that's going to come around very quickly.
Hopefully by this time next week.
So if you've not guessed already, the purpose of Sheer Isolation is to promote the local music scene, which is starting to wake up after 12 months of being completely under the covers and being wiped out. We've got a couple of tunes we're going to play for you today, as always, from local bands. We've got a chat with Minety Festival organiser Rich Swatton, who'll be joining us to talk about the Minety Festival, which is, although Minety is a small village in North Wiltshire for people who don't know, but they really punch above their weight in terms of the lineup they have at the festival. So we'll be talking to him. It is going ahead this year. Fingers crossed. maybe like we were talking with Andy last week about 2,000 trees. Just you wouldn't need as many Zorbs for Minety because they're a much smaller capacity. That one could be more feasible to hold up an entire festival within Zorbs.
Within Zorbs.
You need smaller Zorbs. There's a lot of kids there. You can have a children's Zorb pit.
Do you reckon you could have like an adult Zorb with a kid's Zorb on the inside, so you could just roll around and the kid could just roll around with you?
Oh, see, I was thinking put the kids in smaller Zorbs and then you can use that as a ball pit for adults in the bigger Zorbs.
Oh, there's lots and lots and lots of options here.
Yeah. Local Zorb manufacturers, do get in touch. Right, we'll start off with a track then, and we are going to. And our guest Rich has been very greedy this week. He has chosen 2 tracks that he wanted us to play. So we thought, why not?
Well, I mean, he technically did choose one. Technically, he's in one of these tracks. But I like to think more than him asking to be on it, we said, Rich, would you like us to put your song on this week? And he said, that'd be delightful. Thank you very much. So rather than requesting it.
We can look at it that way. Why not? So this is a track from band The Dirty Smooth, which is a Wiltshire 4-piece. They describe themselves as kind of groovy pop rock, which I think suits them really well.
Bang on. That's exactly what they are. Groovy pop rock.
They are called The Dirty Smooth currently, but the band members have been in various guises in the past. I remember they were in Bullet Train, The Porn Issue. They kind of regenerate themselves as different band names, but they've been with The Dirty Smooth for a few years now.
It's arguably the best incarnation of the composite members. It's their best band, I would say, since all the bands that they've done. I think this is probably the most realised of sounds. So, yeah.
I'd agree with you on that, yeah, and have a listen for yourself. This track was released about 2 years ago. I think it's called Seed to the Spark.
Hello, are you lost in the dark? I don't know if there's a seed to this spark. I can feel a ghost around me, warning for the lonely. I've never really had a plan. I don't wanna leave your body, hard to say I'm sorry. Are you feeling the pain? I don't know if the heat has a flame. I can feel you all around me, magic that we don't see, so frightening to be who we are. We could cast off for tomorrow, swim into your sorrow, anchored in the fold of stars. Whoa. When the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Whoa. Well, the world's not over. Show me where the right one, show me where the right one is. When the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Well, the world's not over. Show me where the right one, show me where the right one is. Hello, are you lost in the dark? I don't know if there's a sea to this bar. Whoa. When the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Whoa. Well, the world's not over. Show me where the right one, show me where the right one is. When the night is over, there's always something that I miss. Whoa. Well, the world's not over. Show me where the right one, show me where the right one is. Show me where the right one is. Show me where the right one is.
So that is Seed to the Spark from the Dirty Smooth. Really good band, as myself and Kieran was saying. This current form of this group, they're very easy on the ears. Really good band.
Yes.
And I believe they're playing at Minety Festival this year as well.
Well, if you're going to run your own festival, of course you're going to book your own band. I mean, it makes sense.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yes. That's cool.
Thing is, I would, if I was in that situation where I had a festival and I was also in a band, my band would be the stand-in. You know, I wouldn't put them in the lineup, but you can guarantee at some point over the weekend a band will pull out, so you'd always get a gig anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And then that way you can be heroes rather than people going, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Spot on, exactly.
Spot on.
So in that case, it's time for us to introduce this week's guest. And this week we have Rich Swatton from the Minety Festival.
And also drummer and local musician who's renowned across the Southwest for all his millions of bands he's been in over the years.
He's a busy boy with music, isn't he?
It's always been, he's obviously one of those people that just lives it. So,
So Minety Festival is one of the newer festivals on the calendar. It's only been around for a few years, and obviously last year it didn't happen at all. So I think this is the fourth Minety Festival.
It's 2017, so 17, 18, 19, no 20, 21. So yeah, fourth. Should be the fifth, but it's not. But they've carried the lineup over, so that was nice.
Yeah. So we'll have just hand over now to Rich, and we talk to him just about what the plan is for this year.
Our first year was in 2017. It was basically set up by myself and one of my mates after too much wine. It kind of started off as being an idea to put a few bands in a field, and it's kind of snowballed from there. We never really imagined, I guess, in our wildest dreams that it would go, as successful as it has in such a short space of time. So, long may it continue.
So we've been running since 2017. Also, give us the sort of DNA of the festival. What sort of music is it? How do you go about your bands? How do you book your sort of, how do you bill your shows? That sort of thing.
It's quite a mishmash of all sorts. I mean, we try and keep it local as much as we can. Obviously, we book headliners to get bums on seats ultimately. But we've kind of got a rule that I allow myself about somewhere between 3 and 5 max bands from out of town. I like to keep things within a sort of 20-25 mile radius of Minety, because we've got a decent music scene here. There's a lot of good bands, and that was ultimately the reason we started the festival in the first place, because there was festivals around, but there seemed to be bands coming in from London and wherever else all around the country playing these local festivals, and we've got so many good bands around here that weren't getting a look in. So yeah, we kind of went with that as an ethos.
And at Minety, but you mentioned the headliners that you get, and they are some pretty decent sized headliners, aren't they? I mean, you've this year you've got Space on the lineup, haven't you? So, yeah.
We had Top Loader and Republica last year. The year before we had Neville Staple from the Specials and Chesney Hawks. This year we've got you're laughing, I can see. I'll tell
Chesney
you what,
Hawks, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Chesney Hawks has probably been one of our most popular acts that we've ever had. He's been and he was an absolute gentleman as well.
So Chesney Hawks, I'll tell you a story. So Chesney Hawks played the 12 bar in Swindon's before the 12 bar closed. He did, when he played his set, the whole show had sold out really quickly. When he did his set, he come out, he did the one and only, and he said, right, if everybody wants to fuck off now, anybody wants to stay and watch the actual show, stay and watch the show. And he basically gave the audience the opportunity to watch the one song and bugger off. And he said about 80% of the audience stayed, some left, and they had a great night. It was a riot. So yeah, just backing up what you said, he is a gentleman and he is really lovely.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah, I mean, this year we've got, obviously we pretty much rolled over what we would have had last year. So we've got the Friday night, we've got Doctor and the Medics are playing. We booked them before the lockdown to play what would have been our 5th anniversary festival. So we've got an extra headliner this year. So, and then before then we've got an Oasis tribute band, Oasis. And then
I was just looking at your lineup. You've got Jesus Jones playing.
Yes, yeah, Jesus Jones on Sunday, and then Dread Zone as well on the Sunday.
And Dread Zone, yeah, that's a fantastic booking. Sorry.
By having the Village Festival and kind of having kind of a fate-like feel to it, and then at the same time in the evening you're booking these internationally known acts. When you first decided to do that, that must have been one hell of a risk that you and the team decided to take. Well, what was the process going, like, how big do we want to go in this first time of booking somebody? Because I wouldn't have the balls to do that.
It wasn't meant to be this way. It kind of, we started off and we put a lineup together for a day. We got about 5 or 6 mates bands and stuff, and we thought, we'll put a stage in a field, make it local, Village Festival. And then we, as you're thinking about it, you think, right, well, we need toilets. Right, we need beer, we need food. So then you think of infrastructure that has to go around that. Right, okay, well, we're going to all this work, so we might as well make it 3 days and get our money's worth out of that. Okay, that then increases the cost of it. So before you know it, you're at a cost of 20 grand plus just for a little festival. And then you think, blimey, how are we going to sell enough tickets to sell this? So you think, well, we've got to get a name of some sort to try and draw people in. We were really kind of, the first year was really kind of shaky in terms of that. And it was only someone who was involved with the festival was due to be having a 60th birthday. And rather than spending his money on a 60th birthday, donated £5,000 to the festival and then put another £5,000 in the background, and said, this is your fallback. If it all goes completely pear-shaped, this will see you through to your second year, where hopefully you'll make the money back. And as luck would have it, we've never actually had a festival that's made a loss. So, but
that's amazing news.
I think had it not been for that, like you say, we probably wouldn't have had the balls to do that.
So let's look back on last year. Obviously, everything got cancelled. Your date is quite early on in the festival year, isn't it?
So it's usually the either the first weekend in July, stroke the last weekend in June. Sometimes it will roll over a little bit over the join, but yeah.
So basically, if you're a festival goer, you've got Glastonbury Festival weekend, then you've got Minety Festival weekend, and then you've got 2000 Trees Festival weekend, 3 weekends running.
Yeah. Who needs work anyway?
Yeah. So who needs work on money?
Yeah, that does mean if the restrictions are lifted as scheduled currently, you will be one of the first, maybe even the first festival in the region to go ahead.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of we can't really afford for any setbacks at all in the program, because we've got I think the 21st is a Monday. The 21st of June is a Monday, when everything's meant to sort of get back to normal and you can start licking people's faces again. But I mean, we're due to be putting up Harris fencing on the Saturday before that, two days prior to that. So, I mean, we are really, really tight on schedule. We start full site construction 4 days after the lockdowns opened up. So it's really
squeaky bum time.
Yeah. We need everyone to keep their fingers crossed. So.
How would you sell Minety to them in comparison to other festivals? What have you got the edge on?
I think it's just a really nice little family festival. I mean, we don't try to be something we're not. We know we're a small festival, but it is a family festival. We charge a little fee for the kids, but when you get in there, there's a load of stuff for the kids to do that's absolutely free. So rock climbing walls. We've got bouncy castles. There's kids craft stuff. And one of the things we've focused on in the last couple of years is a teen tent as well, where we basically put sofas, we've hooked it up with Wi-Fi, we've got gaming consoles, a pool table, music equipment. And you might know them, actually. The guys that are going to be running it this year are the guys from Riverbank Studio in Chippenham. I
was going to come on to that, but you've broached it already. So Tom Mallard in the Riverbank in Chippenham.
Yes, so I mean they've obviously got their studio community outreach project. So yeah, we approached them and said, look, we really need someone to run it, who's going to engage with the teenagers, maybe do music workshops, maybe do all that kind of stuff, but really properly try and get them involved. And they seemed right up for it. So it's a perfect match, really.
So, Rich, how do you find, this might be a touchy subject, I don't know, how do you find the villagers or the rest of Minety? Because your festival is pretty much bang centre in the middle of the village. It's not like you're on a farmland that's miles away from anywhere. So there's a lot of the community around you. Do you get on with everyone?
Yeah, we do. I mean, up until we'd done this, there hadn't really been anything in Minety. There'd been like village fetes and stuff like that, but there'd not really been anything, to my knowledge, like it. So we have to keep the villagers on side, because about 140 of them volunteer for the festival to help out, so doing shifts in the bar and car park and all sorts. But yeah, it's good. I mean, the thing I like about it most is probably, and a few of us have discussed this, actually, we actually enjoy the setup week as much as the festival itself, because it's just such a great laugh. A load of guys and girls like having banter all week, and it's just a really nice feeling of camaraderie,
which is probably something you all missed last year. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, right.
It was I think everyone's missing contact. I mean, I'm sort of same mind, I guess, but I mean, I feel for a lot of people that are not necessarily entirely together and that are going through this, because it's affecting me, definitely. not having social contact with people.
Of course, and music is such a unifying thing. So
yeah,
you're going to be the that first, like I say earlier, the first festival that can happen, and everyone's just going to rejoice. Yours is going to be the most crazy because that's the first time people are going to be allowed out. So by the time the late July, August rolls around, they'll all be old hat again. So
there could be a lot of very drunk people there, I think.
So it's just to remind people what the dates are and where they can find out more info on the tickets.
It's the 2nd to the 4th of July, and tickets are available on our website. There's all the lineups are already published on our website, which is www.minetyfestival.co.uk.
We asked you to pick a track, Rich. I know you've picked two, and we're going to play both of them. But the one that we're going to play next is by Enter Red. So do you want to tell us why you picked that one?
Yeah, well, I met Enter Red back in a former life when they were called Falling Fish, going back about 2 or 3 years ago, down at Watch Music Festival. And they were quite young then, probably 15 or something like that. And we saw them play, and it was very much, these guys have got talent. It's rough around the edges, but they're clearly really talented. And I was quite interested to see them play and then get them up to Minety Music Festival. So we got them to come play 2 years ago now at Minety. And they were a bit more polished. And then from what I've seen, it's been really nice watching them grow as a band online, because they do post quite a lot of stuff online. And I think, they've got a very bright future ahead of them. This year, we've actually offered them a pretty decent slot on the main stage on the Saturday night. I think they're playing something like 7 o'clock in the evening, 8 o'clock in the evening on the Saturday night on the main stage at Minety. And that was just because, I really wanted to try and do something for a young local band. I'm not, we wanted to kind of, we spoke as a committee, and we wanted to do almost a bit of a like John Peel leg up for a young band. So we went for that.
Super talented bunch of kids, and I think you absolutely got it on the head there. You've identified that they've got talent, and that they're definitely, hopefully, something we're going to be proud of in the next few years.
Yeah, it makes you sick, doesn't it?
It does, yes, it does.
This next one's called Break Your Bones.
Too high, away from here to calm down. We don't talk about the battered eyes that she can hide. again. You couldn't hide your deep ambitions. You do it again. Cheers, guys.
So that was a band called Enter Red. The track was Break Your Bones, and that particular recording was from the Louisiana. They did a session recording in the Louisiana. I do like it when bands get into a venue and they can just do it without a crowd and they can have a proper lifestyle. Like the stuff you do at the in Trowbridge.
Really let loose.
Yeah.
So, what's some news, John?
I think it's about time to talk about news. Yes. What have you got?
So, very simply put, the town hall in Trowbridge, which has been, getting there with regard to opening for a number of occasions because of lockdown, it's been postponed or cancelled or whatever. They're now in a position where they are looking to book a series of very simple, straightforward, acoustic-y style, solo-y, duo-y type shows in late May, June, July, possibly as far as August. But basically, if you're a musician, you're a duo or a trio or whatever, and you want to come play, you need to get in contact with Trowbridge Town Hall, obviously in Trowbridge, Town Hall Arts, and you need to speak to a chap called Gavin Osborne. He's the point of contact for programming. Drop him a line, drop him an email, drop him a Facebook message, and ask to play.
Is that the same Gavin Osborne from Wiltshire Rural Music? Who we had
Correct,
on
same Gasbot, yeah, same one.
There we are. That kind of links into what I was going to say, because just looking on the various social networks, venues are now putting shout outs to say, oh, we want to start booking gigs from July or from August or whenever they're comfortable doing it. So this feels like we're definitely coming out of the tunnel now.
It's really, 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 really interesting because Reading Festival announced that they were going ahead and sold out in seconds, but they still haven't got, as far as I'm aware, and this I did check the other day, but they still haven't got local authority authorization to go ahead. They haven't got their license. But moreover, the insurance side of the industry, at the moment, there's no money in the insurance pot. So at the moment, no festival going ahead has its in venue festival insurance. So very interesting to see how that all transpires over the next 3 months before they will start kicking off.
Mm.
Yeah, April and May are going to be big months for that industry.
Yeah. In terms of music in the pub scene and the small venue, I suppose they'll be able to get going pretty much from day one because they don't need any prep time. Not like what Rich was saying, like you need 2 weeks to put together a village festival. God knows how many weeks you need to put something like Reading together. Quite right.
But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think from the 17th of May, it's 50% capacity and events are allowed to happen. So I think probably you're absolutely right. From the off, even from that Monday, I imagine they're probably going to be able to do events, and that will almost certainly happen.
No rants about PRS or anything this week?
No, not yet. Not yet.
The week's still early.
Just brewing.
sheerisolation@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us. Send us any new music videos or any news that you've got. We will be back same time next week. Kieran, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. It's so nice when you're not as hyper as you were last week.
Yeah, that was
wound up. I don't know if you were hyper or wound up, one of the two.
Thanks, everyone.
Right, cheers for that. We'll be back next week. See you later.
Later, taters.
Bye-bye.
Bye.